You'll be facing extreme weather conditions that will challenge your skills as a professional driver. And that is a common thing when you're driving on the road. You will face those extreme weather conditions. So that's why it's important to be prepared. You want to be increased preparation by preparing yourself, being aware as a professional driver, and knowing how to safely operate your vehicle in adverse weather conditions, in any adverse weather conditions. So you may need to deal with reduced traction, which is the grip of the tires on the road. And you also would need to reduce visibility, which is your ability to clearly see hazards. So you may need to work through that. Now, in winter conditions, you need to be prepared in operating snow, ice, and extreme cold. Those are the main things. Operating heat, there are ways for you to be prepared when you're working in hot, extreme hot weather. So starting off with checking your coolant level. Part of being prepared, you need to check the coolant level. The coolant circulates around the engine, and it's a combination of coolant and antifreeze in order to help maintain and keep a safe working temperature for your vehicle. Then you have the antifreeze. So that actually lowers the freezing point of a water-based liquid, and it increases its boiling point. So the antifreeze concentration is vehicles such as cars and light trucks. They require an antifreeze to water ratio of 50-50. So this gives a coolant and a decent amount of freezing and boiling protection, while also giving you that corrosion protection that the engine and the radiator needs itself. Now, to check the coolant level and the antifreeze concentration, you want to make sure that the coolant system is full and there's enough antifreeze in the vehicle system itself. Low coolant levels can also affect the engine, defroster, and heater, as well as the overall performance of the vehicle that you're operating. So that's why it's important to check the antifreeze concentration as well as the coolant levels. Now, the antifreeze concentration is the ratio will be between the amount of water and the antifreeze, and that will provide the right amount of freezing and boil protection that the engine desperately needs. Then you want to check your windshield wipers and washers. You need a clear glass, and mirrors needs to be able to be nice and clear so that way you can be able to drive safely. So make sure the wiper blades are in good condition. The wiper blades needs to be pressed against or flush to the window hard enough to wipe the windshield clean and to keep the snow off. Then you want to check the windshield washer and make sure that it's working and it has the appropriate right amount of washer fluid that will not freeze during cold weather. That needs to be in the reservoir. Then you want to check the reservoir for cracks or any other damage. Remove all ice, snow, debris of the windshield by using a snow brush or scraper by having that, using that. Then use the windshield defroster just to make sure that you have no visual obstructions on the windshield. So remember, reservoir is a container or storage that holds the fluid. So it's a container or storage space that holds the fluids. That's what they mean by reservoir. So when you're checking the defrost and heating equipment, you want to make sure that the vehicle's heat and defrosters are working. Check that the heater for the mirrors, if it's equipped, and the fuel tank. You want to use them to keep snow and ice from building up on your windshield and window, and use them to prevent ice from forming or build in your fuel air tank. So this is part of preparation when you're getting ready to drive your vehicle on the road in extreme, challenging, adverse road conditions. Then you have the lights and reflectors. You want to make sure to keep in mind in poor weather, your lights and reflectors determine the range of sight. So it determines how much you actually see and how well others can see your vehicle, you and your vehicle. So that's why you want to make sure your lights and reflectors are clean and you check them often. This is part of preparation. Part of being a professional commercial driver is to operate safely and being prepared to do so safely. You also need to check your windows and mirrors. Make sure they're clear of any ice, snow, debris from the windshield by using a snow brush and or a scraper, and the windshield defroster as well. Then you want to make sure there are no visual obstructions or anything that will block or limit your ability to see the road. Then you want to check your brakes, check the brake balance and adjustment, and just be extremely careful, very careful when you're setting your brakes in cold weather, because they could freeze together and you might not be able to release the brakes. Remember, also hands hold steps and deck plates. The entry steps, you want to remove all ice, snow from any handholds, any steps or entry steps or deck plates. And that will reduce or eliminate the chances of you slipping or falling. Then you want to check any exposed wiring or air lines. So usually airlines is commonly known in combination vehicles such as tractor trailer. So you want to remove snow, ice from all wiring and airlines. And even if you're driving a truck or any vehicle that does have lines, air lines, or wires, you want to make sure you remove ice from them, because buildup can cause them to sag because the brittle and the brake. And it can get snagged on the tractor trailer or vehicle, and it can get snagged on the tires as well. That's why that's important to make sure that you remove snow and ice from it. Then the coupling devices, you want to remove all ice and snow before coupling in below freezing temperatures. In below freezing temperatures, the jaw of the coupling device will not lock if the grease is frozen. So that's why you really be mindful of that. So again, coupling is the actual process of connecting a truck or tractor and the trailer together, also known as tractor trailer, a combination vehicle. The fifth wheel is the coupling device that's used to join the front of the trailer to the tractor. Remember also to double check any locking mechanism, which is parts that are connected, and just make sure that the fifth wheel is nice and lubricated with a winter grade lubricant. Then you have the fuel tanks. Fuel tank, make sure that it's full before starting out. So this will prevent freezing in the fuel lines, and it'll help you avoid running out of fuel in bad weather. You also want to do that because it'll also help you avoid becoming stranded in a very dangerous situation. You do not want to be in a situation where you don't have enough fuel to get where you're trying to go. It'll cost money, time, and unnecessary stress. So when you're checking the exhaust system, make sure the loose exhaust system connections. Remember, the loose exhaust system connections can cause carbon monoxide to leak into your vehicle. That's why it's mindful to check your exhaust system. The carbon monoxide can also kill you if you are exposed in an area with poor ventilation. So usually if it's in a truck or cab with the windows up, just be mindful of that. Now, you want to check your emergency equipment. So there are some items you should have when it comes to your vehicle in inclement weather. So you should have a windshield scraper, snow brush, a small shovel, extra windshield washer fluid, a flashlight, spare batteries, jumper cables, and any warning devices that you need. It's always important to be prepared. Then you have tire chains. So you want to carry the proper size and number of tire chains and extra cross links. Now, you may be required to use chains per state or per law, so that depending on which state and where you are traveling and operating in. But either way, the tire chains, you want to check the chains for damage, make sure the chain slack adjusters are available, and mainly make sure it's mounted secured. Then you have the tires. Check the tread depth for pressure and inflation. So you want to check the front tires must have at least 4/32 of an inch tread depth on every major groove. And then all the other tires, which is the drive axle or the rear axle, must have at least 2/32 of an inch of tread depth. Hey, BET Trainer here. Listen, if you really had true value out of this video, go ahead and click that like button and share some honest comments about this video, because this is going to help other people as well see the video and get the value information, so that way they can be inspired by what you're doing right now as well. So also, if you want to get the latest updates, go ahead and click the subscribe button, so then you can be able to always be updated on the next instant video that will be put out. So again, go ahead and do that. And this video was sponsored by BET Life Services and CDL for Life.